Good evening, everyone. Guys, am I audible? Yeah, thank you. So, in our last session, we have started with what is footprinting. Then we have seen how exactly a hacker can try to identify the details about a target domain, right? So, how they can find out the domain name of an organization. Once the domain name is found, how exactly a hacker can try to identify what exactly is the domain name registration information, right? How long is the registration valid and all. And we were also discussing the reasons why hackers would try to identify the registration information and all this. Then we have seen information about the network, that is how many DNS records are available related to that particular domain name, what is the range of IP addresses that are reserved, and then we have also seen what kind of common services are running on the remote server, right? So is everyone clear so far? If you have any queries, you can ask me. Okay, yeah. So if everyone is clear, then we'll continue with the footprinting activities. I hope you are all able to view my screen. Guys, you're all able to view the screen, right? Yeah, okay. So yesterday we were discussing with these two websites, right? Central Ops and the technical info, right? So now let us see how we can use some tools to find out the network related information. So the first tool that I'll be using here is something called SamSpade. It's a free tool. You don't need any license to use it. Okay, so this is how the SamSpade application looks like. A very basic user interface. So all we need to do is give the target domain name here in the search box. So I give the target domain name. So by default, SamSpade will show you with who is information. So all the same details that we have seen yesterday with the different who is websites and tools. So all the same information like when exactly the domain name was registered, how long is the domain registration valid, who is the domain registrar, how many DNS servers are associated to the domain. So it gives us the who is information. So yes, Mr. Bright, if you want, you can copy all this and you can save it. Okay. So now when you are looking at who is information, is this considered active footprinting or passive footprinting? Okay, so when you are looking at the who is information, this is passive footprinting because you are not directly connecting to the target server. But not only the who is information, in SAMSPADE you also have some other options like you can try to ping the remote server. So you can see whether the remote server is responding to your ping request or not. You will also be able to perform a trace route. So guys, what do we see in trace route? I'm sure you are doing this in your CCNA. So traceroute shows you what is the path taken from request, right? So the request, how exactly it is going from your computer to the destination. And all these IP addresses, what we see here. So what are these IP addresses? So these are all the IP addresses of various routers which are present between your system and the target server, right? So these are all IP addresses of different routers, right? So when you try to perform traceroute or ping, is this active footprinting or passive footprinting? So what's your opinion? So here when you try to perform ping or traceroute, you are establishing a direct connection from your computer to the target system, right? So there's a request directly going from your machine to the target server. So this becomes active footprinting, right? So passive footprinting, when you are collecting information through a third party. Active footprinting, when you are directly establishing a session between your mission to the target. So is that clear, everyone? The main difference between active and passive footprinting. Okay, yeah. So if you look at this trace route information, as of now, we only see what all IP addresses are present here, right? So we are only seeing the IP address. We do not see the location. Like we are not having a visual representation of how exactly this request is passing through, right? So to get that visual representation, we use a different tool called Path Analyzer. Uh, Mr. Bright, I'll be sharing you this virtual mission. So all the tools are available in the virtual mission. So you don't have to download all these tools individually. Okay. So I'll be sharing this VM. You'll have all tools within the VM itself. Okay. So when you are installing this Path Analyzer Pro, right? Always make sure you run this application as administrator. Okay. So you can go to the installed applications list. You'll see the Path Analyzer Pro application. So you can right click, go to more options and say run as administrator, right? Okay, so this one, Path Analyzer Pro, as you see, is a commercial tool, but you will still be able to use it for 10 days as a trial version. So even if you do not have a license key, you don't have to worry. You can still use it for 10 days as a trial version. So in this Path Analyzer Pro, you'll see a search box where you'll be able to define the target. So let me define the target as www.zoomgroup.com. So now I want to see what is the path taken by request from my system to this Zoom server. So give the target and click on this trace button. So now this Path Analyzer Pro application would perform traceroute. It will show us all the list of IP addresses that are present between our computer and the target system, similar to what we have seen in SAMSPADE. Then you can click on this geolocation tab. Okay. So when we click on the geolocation tab, we should be getting the path. It looks like there's some error. So I'll just try to run this application again. Strange. Okay. So it looks like for some reason it's not showing me the map, but no issue. We can still find out like where exactly the remote server is located. So what we can do is access this website, what is my ipaddress.com. You can access a web page, what is my ipaddress.com. Okay, so this website tells you what is the current IP address of your computer when you are reaching internet. So what you can do is here in the search box, address of the remote system. So yesterday we have seen the address of the remote system is something like 50.160.250. Your IP address and can search for the details. That is no, uh, guys, now am I audible? Can you hear me now? Yeah. So here, as you see on the screen, when we are searching for this server IP address, right? So I've given the IP address of the server 50.62.160.250, and here we have the details. So it is telling us what is the host name. So if you recollect yesterday when we are looking at the DNS records, we have seen the same host name for the remote server. Then it is also giving us the information that the ISP is GoDaddy, and again this you can compare it with the details what we have seen yesterday. We have seen the list of the range of IP addresses, right? So that range of IP addresses are owned by GoDaddy, right? So GoDaddy is the one who is holding those IP addresses, and here as you can see it is giving you the details about the country and the city where this particular server has been hosted. Okay, so this is how you can find out the location of the server. Where is it hosted? Okay, so is this clear? Yeah. So not only with the network related details, You'll also be able to find more information about the website, right? So how is this website hosted? What operating system they are using on the server? What is the website hosting application? We can check those details also. So to check the information as a hacker, you will be accessing this site Netcraft. So this is how the Netcraft web page looks like. So what you have to do is, once you have the website, scroll down to see this option, what's that site running, right? Scroll down to see this option, what's that site running, and here give the URL of the web page. So I'm giving the Zoom website URL. So now Netcraft will give us the details about this particular website. Okay, so here as you see on the screen, it says the website is first seen in 1998. The primary language of the website is English. Then coming into the domain details, it says a website is this www.zoomgroup.com, and it belongs to a domain Zoom Group. So this is what we were discussing yesterday. So once you have the website address, you can remove that www part and you'll be directly getting the domain name. So we have the domain name as Zoom Group, and NetBlock owner, it says, is GoDaddy. So here NetBlock owner is the one who holds this public IP. So for this server, we see the IP address some 50.62.160.250, right? And here it says GoDaddy is the one who is holding this IP address. So in short, you can also say GoDaddy is the one who is hosting that particular website, right? So you can also see the hosting company is GoDaddy, right? And then it tells you how many sorry, what is the primary DNS server, right? So pdns07.domaincontrol.com, we see the primary DNS server. And then again you will be able to see the location in which country the server is hosted, but that's not what we are interested. We have already seen the location details, in which city or in which country the server is hosted. So here, coming into the hosting history, here you can see what is the operating system and what is the application that's used on the remote server. So for hosting the website, what is the operating system and what is the application that is used? Okay, so it says they are using Server 2016 with Microsoft IIS 10 for hosting the website. So this is how you can find the details through Netcraft. Okay, so is this one clear? And here it also shows you when exactly this information was taken. So it says that this was taken on 14th of October. And if you want to refresh this data, you can just click here at the hosting history. You see a refresh button and click on it. They'll try to find out the details now and show you the information. If there is any change, you'll be able to see that. Okay, so it's still the same information, so nothing has changed. So now you know what is the operating system and what is the application that is hosted, that is used for hosting the website, right? So this is good, but when you speak about a website, right, organizations use different kind of technologies to build the websites and all, right? So on the machine where the website is running, you have this operating system, Windows 2016 server, and they are using IIS 10, right? So as a hacker, if you find some vulnerabilities on this operating system or on the web server application, you will be able to launch an attack and compromise the machine. But let us say you do not find any vulnerabilities here, assuming there are no vulnerabilities, right? In that case, you have to see what kind of technologies are being used on this particular website. Because today, if you see, your web pages are not just a simple static HTTP or sorry, not HTTP, a static HTML pages, right? So different kind of technologies go into making a web page. So a hacker will also try to identify what are those technologies, what technologies are used for creating that particular web page. So to see that what kind of technologies have been used for creating the website, we can use another web page called built with. You can use a website called built with, or you can also use their web browser plugin, right? So you can either get the information through built with, or they also have their web browser plugins which can be used, right? So here, once you visit this built with website, you can give the address. So give the website address, and it tells you what all technologies have been used for creating this page. So you can see what all different technologies or integrations happen with the page. So it says MailerLite, site with Google Analytics, uh, Cloud, Facebook integration, right? Alexa verification, Font Awesome, share this, WhatsApp, Quack2, right? ASP.NET. So as you can see, all different kind of technologies which have been used for making the web page are displayed, right? So if a hacker did not find vulnerabilities on the operating system or on the application, a hacker can try to see if there are any vulnerabilities on this other third party technologies which have been integrated into the web page, and then try to see based on those vulnerabilities if there is a possibility to launch an attack and compromise the server. Okay, so is this clear? Why hackers are looking into what all other technologies are used for creating a web page? Again, here you also have an application called ID Serve. Now, this application will also tell you uh, using which software the website has been hosted. That is, the web hosting application information will be displayed. Right. So all you need to do is give the URL of the website. So give the website address, and it tells you using which application this particular website is hosted. So you can either visit Netcraft or you can use this application IDServe. Right? So if you go with Netcraft, it is passive footprinting. If you are going with IDServe, this would be considered active footprinting. Then there is another application here which we can use called Web Data Extractor. Now this application will be helpful in extracting contact numbers or email addresses from a website. Now, if you want to find the details of different people, right, related to the organization, right, one option is, as a hacker, you can manually keep browsing the entire website, keep checking all the available uh, web pages, try to see if any kind of contact numbers or email addresses are published. Right. But let us say there are some tens or hundreds of pages on a website. Will it be possible for a hacker to manually go through each and every page and see if any contact numbers or email IDs have been published? No, it will be very, very difficult and time consuming task, right? So to speed up the process, you can use this tool of data extractor. Well, there are different versions of this tool. You have the free version and you also have the commercial tool, right? So both give you with similar information, but depends on how fast they work, right? So this is uh, the trial of the commercial tool, right? So once you have the application, you can start a new session. So in the new session, give the starting URL, right? So I'm giving the website, and here I say, try to find out all the email IDs, right? So if you want, you can also extract what all other linked URLs are there for this particular web page, what all other domains it is getting connected to, what all contact numbers or fax numbers have been published and all, right? But it would take more time. So as of now, I'll just say, try to find out some email addresses which are listed there on the website. So it will start checking with all the available uh, web pages and all. And the results, you will be able to see what all email IDs have been found. It shows you the email address which was found, and then it also tells you on which URL this particular email ID has been found. Right. So not only showing you what all email IDs are identified, it also tells you on which URL this particular email ID was found. Right. So instead of a hacker trying to manually check each and every web page, right? They can use this kind of tool which will automatically search for all the given email IDs, email IDs, contact numbers, and all, and show you the details. Nagraj, when you say what all activities we are doing as of now, they are not attacks, right? So as of now, we did not launch any attack. We are still collecting information about the target. Right. And when you see from the target system point of view, right, what you are doing with this, say, the footprinting applications, or maybe what you are still trying to do it manually, right, that information will be available on the remote system, that someone is trying to access so and so web page. So this particular URL or this particular web page has been accessed. Uh, okay, and here, do not consider active footprinting as a attack. Active footprinting means there is a session established from your computer to the target. Okay, so that should not be considered as a attack. Okay, yeah. So this application will help you to find out some contact numbers or email IDs and all this. But let us say uh, this particular website that you are looking at is not publishing any contact numbers or email IDs and all this. Right. So if the web page is not publishing any kind of contact numbers or email addresses, then will any of these tools be helpful? So none of this activities will be helpful. Whether you are using web data extractor or you are trying to do it manually, this will not really help you, right? So in such conditions, you have a different website called archive, which can be used to access the old versions of the website, right? Okay, so to access the old versions of the web page, maybe which was posted 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, right? You will be able to access it using the archive. So let us access this. Okay, so once you visit the web page archive, you see this option Wayback Mission. So all you need to do here is in Wayback Mission, give the website address. Okay, so here as you see, it says this archive or the online internet library has taken 622 snapshots of this particular web page. So a snapshot is nothing but a copy. They are trying to maintain a copy of the contents of the website. So now let's say I want to see how exactly the web page was looking like in say 2005. I'll click on the year, and below that you will see the calendar view of that 2005 year. So now let's say 2005 1st of November, I want to see how the web page was looking like. So I can click on the date. It shows me the website, like how exactly it was looking like. So the home page. So not only the home page, you can click on any link. So it's as if like you are accessing a live website itself, right? And click on any link, you'll be able to find out all the details that's available on the web page, which was hosted in 2005. And the same way, a hacker can keep on checking all the available snapshots. Okay, so is this clear how a hacker can access the old version of this website? Yeah. One way, when you're trying to look at these old versions, right, you will still be able to find out all the contact numbers and email IDs, because back then this information was not being hidden. That's one information you can find. And secondly, now let's say this organization is trying to hire an administrator for maintaining their servers or maybe for their applications and all. Do they post ad saying that we are hiring for so and so job position and these are all the requirements or these are all the technical skills we are expecting from this admin? So by looking at that job postings, will you be able to identify what kind of softwares or what kind of technologies are being used in their networks? Right. So you have different advantages if you manually check those old versions of the pages. But again, as I said, based on how many snapshots you are trying to look at, right? The time taken for it also would be changing. So this you have to manually check. Your web data extractor will not do it for you, right? So web data extractor will only show you how exactly the present version of the website is looking like and what all contents are available from it. Okay, so is this clear so far, everyone? How we can find out the details of the website? So not only finding the website details, you'll also be able to find out things like DNS information. Of course, we have also seen this DNS information earlier, right? But you also have some other tools. Now, let's say I can go with this application, something like DNS data view. So if you are only interested in looking at the DNS records, you can use this free application, right? Give the domain name. So I'm looking for DNS records related to zoomgroup.com. Say okay. It will find out all the DNS records available and show us. So exactly same as what we have seen earlier in centralops.net, right? So not only this application DNS data view, you can also use this website network tools. So I'm showing you with multiple options. So in network tools, you can choose the option here to show only the DNS information and give the target domain name. So use the website or you can use the DNS data view free tool. So in both cases, you will be able to see the DNS records. So again, see, same thing, same as what we have seen earlier in Central Ops and also now in DNS data view, we are able to find out all the DNS records related to that specific domain Zoom group. I'll give you access to all these tools. You will also be able to check all these things and all, right? And nowadays, if you see hackers, instead of targeting a server, if they are trying to target a user, right, then trying to find out, say, the IP address of a user, will it be helpful to see if there are any vulnerabilities or if there are any issues with the user device and all? So if a hacker can find some weakness on the user device, will it help the hacker to compromise the user device, take control of it? Yes, that would be helpful, right? So to capture the user details, right? So what hackers are doing is they try to access some websites like say Grabify. Now this particular website, Grabify, right? It lets you create a IP logger. So using this, when you click on the link, when you just try to access a web page or visit a web page, your IP address details can be captured by the hacker. Now see, I have my Grabify web page open. Now let me just try to access something like say, I'll give a URL. So I want end user to view this particular website, zoomgroup.com, right? So I'll just say create a URL. Now Grabify will give me some URL, right? Okay, so Grabify has given me some new URL. So check this. I'm giving this particular URL in the chat window, right? So can you try to open that? You should be redirected to Zoom website once you click on the link. Yes. So if it is asking you like this particular link is redirecting you, you can say yes, not an issue. Yes, it should be taking you to the Zoom website. That's correct. Because if you see, uh, I've given the link as the Zoom website itself, right? Now here, as you see, once I refresh the page, it is showing me all the details like at what time someone has accessed my link, right? What was their IP address, from which country or from which city they are trying to access it, right? What was the operating system, what was the web browser, right? And what was the other tab that was open on their web browser, right? So what is a host name, right? So what is ISP? So as you can see, it is giving us with all the details like people who are trying to access this link, from which IP address they're accessing, what is their web browser, what is their PC, means the PC's operating system and all, right? It is giving you with all the details. So like this, just by accessing a web page, right, you are actually giving away a lot of information to a hacker, right? So hackers can try to capture your details like what is your IP address, what kind of a device you are using and all, just by sending you a simple URL, right? So they send you a simple URL, and once you access that, they are able to capture your details. So is this one clear? How hackers are using uh, URL links created from Grabify. You also have so many other services like Grabify, not only this, right? Okay, so I think this is you, Mr. Bright, Android 12, and you're browsing from the Nokia G10 mobile. There is another website like something like IP Logger, right? You can also check with that. Okay, so this is how using various tools or various websites, a hacker can try to identify the details about target. And as of now, did we launch any attack? Did we do any kind of attack on the target system, on their servers or maybe on their network? No, right? So as of now, we did not do any kind of attack, right? But we are just collecting information. Now, based on this information, as a hacker, you will go to the next step where you will see if there are any vulnerabilities on a target system. And if there are some vulnerabilities, then you will try to launch an attack based on the vulnerability, right? So, but for us to go to the next step, right, we'll first need some basic information, basic understanding about what all applications or operating systems are being used on the remote network, right? What operating system is there on the server? Where is it located, right? So we need some basic information, right? So this is how you will be doing this footprinting parts. Mr. Vijay, as you say, if you are using a VPN, right, then it depends on how good or bad is your VPN, because according to some recent reports, right, around 90-95% of VPN applications are still leaking your data. So if the VPN application what you have used is leaking your information, right, then a hacker can still find out your real location or your real IP details. Mr. Bright, as you say, if you can customize this, yes, you will be able to customize this, right? So they also give you with the paid subscription plans. So once you go with that, those IP logging links, right, will not give you the notification that you are now being redirected to an external site and all those. Is it clear? Yeah. And as you are asking me, like, how do we access this particular tools and all, right? So I'll give you a link where you can just fill in your details so that you will be uh, getting this examination vouchers from yours council. That is after we complete the course. But in the meantime, based on whatever email IDs that you share, right, I'll also be able to share this virtual missions and all with you so that you can also start doing the practical, right? So here is the link I have given in the chat. So you can click on the link and fill in your details so that I'll be able to share those virtual missions and all, right? So once I share the virtual missions, again, I will discuss how do you host these virtual missions on your system, right? How do you start using them, right? What all configurations or what all changes you may have to do. So I'll be discussing all those things in detail. I'll show you. So guys, have you all taken the link? Yeah, my name is Raghu. Uh, yeah, Mr. Sudhir, at the mobile number, you can give the country code also. Regarding this ID, so when you did the payment, you should have got some ID, right? So you can give that particular ID. You should have got a confirmation ID or something from Zoom, so you can give that particular ID there. Yeah, course name, you have to give cybersecurity professional if you have taken the full 1 month course, or in case some of you have only opted for the ethical hacking part, you give it as ethical hacking and prevention. Okay, so everyone try to fill in the details so that I'll be able to share those VMs as soon as possible. So for the for the ID, guys, you can check the email what you have received from Zoom Technologies, right? So there you will be having the ID, so you can fill that ID there. Okay, yeah. So for today, I'll be ending the session. So the next session, we will see what's the next step that a hacker would go through after completing the footprinting. Okay. Thank you all.